today we're going to be reviewing some open source projects and some open source accounts. And we might also make a few open source contributions. If you're new here, my name is Eddie. I'm a self-taught web developer. I have 15 years experience in full stack and recently as in the top 500 open source contributors in the world on GitHub. If you want to learn more about open source, tech events and upskilling, remote working, being a founder, startup life, then don't forget to subscribe below and I'll take you on my adventures. So James contacted me and asked me if I could review his GitHub account and maybe have a look at some of his open source projects. So James, thank you very much for being my guinea pig, my first episode in this series of open source reviews. And by me reviewing this with you, hopefully you'll learn something because I know I will. Let's make this a bit bigger. So my first impressions when I come to your GitHub account page is you've got 31 repositories at the top, which does look good. Projects, you have none, which is fine. It's project board. It's more like Trello. You have 27 stars. That's also good. You only have one follower and you aren't following anyone. So you're not taking the social coding to the next level. So my suggestion is to follow some people. They'll possibly follow you back. By you getting involved in more open source, then more people will follow you. These numbers don't have to be huge and they're not a vanity metric, but it's just nice to see some healthy-ish numbers up there, some double or triple figures. You have some pinned repositories, which is brilliant. And immediately it shows me what languages you're into. So I see Python, C# and HTML. So that's good that you've got a mix, but not too much of a mix that they're all over the place. And then on the top left, the next thing that jumps out is your profile picture. You have a profile picture, which is really important. It's not you, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but it does help if it is you. I think people can relate more to your social coding account if it's a picture of you. But at least you have a picture. I think when I see accounts that don't have any picture and it's just the holding kind of profile image, then I think, is that a fake account or is it real? Your username is fine. I would also suggest having your full name on there. So instead of just having James, have James, I'm guessing Bar. It just, again, when people search for you online, you want your GitHub account to appear. You've got a description, which I think is really useful. And you've also got your location, again, which I think is important. And the next thing that jumps out is your contributions from the last year. 6 months, you've had some contributions, but the 6 months before that, you only had one day that had a contribution and had 13 contributions on that day. So that day could have been a hackathon. It could have been something like that. But to spread it out looks healthier. So you have a few days that stand out. So overall, your account doesn't look bad, but doesn't look great, doesn't stand out. So to highlight, I would suggest following a few more people, maybe starring a few more projects, changing your profile picture. That's not a must, but just a suggestion. All in all, if your CV came across my desk, and the first thing I will do, and I always say this, is I'll go to their GitHub account. If I looked at your GitHub account, I wouldn't be excited, but I wouldn't be disappointed. So the next thing I would do is I would look at some of your projects. So let's look at your first project that you've got pinned at the top. So you must be quite proud of that one. So we can see it's in Python. You've got a Python script and you've got a README file. So these projects have had activity in the last month. So we've got 22 days, 14 days, 6 days, and 2 days. So that's good. It shows that you're active on a few of your projects. My first thoughts on this project would be you have no README. So I'm going to raise you an issue and I'm going to say suggest adding a README. Reviewing your GitHub account, and by making that issue, that gives me actually my contribution for today. I get the one green box or the addition to an existing green box. So raising issues of people is actually important, adds value. And I could even raise a pull request. Really simple. If I just said create file, it's how simple it is to contribute to someone else's project. MD, and we can put the name of the project, Node.js starter. So number 1, created, propose new file. It will show us below what we did. We can now create the pull request and we can say closes issue 1. So if it does get merged, then it closes it. It makes it easier for the maintainer. So let's actually look at some code. So this sort of thing I would put in the README, let it stand out, put your documentation in the README rather than the code. It's still good to have bite-sized documentation within the code, but for actual step-by-step, I would put it in the README. So again, I've picked another repo, a PHP one, but again, no README. I would definitely suggest having more READMEs. It makes it more discoverable. It makes it easier for people to understand what's going on there. So it seems like you've started quite a few things, which is good, but it'd be good to follow through with them and improve them a little bit more. So James, I hope that gives you some tips on your open sourceness from your GitHub account and some of your repos. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below. and I'd love to just continue the discussion further. If anyone else wants their GitHub account or GitHub or open source projects reviewed, put a comment below and put a link to your account and let me take a look. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe. It's free and it supports the channel. If you want to get more into coding, also don't forget to check out my other channel, Code Mortals, where we do live streaming with JavaScript, TypeScript, Angular, Firebase, Node, Cypress automated testing, and lots of that good stuff.